Shelley, you're a reading specialist and you're from Philadelphia, where you've had experience introducing this type of curriculum into schools. And here you're a member of the Library Foundation Board, you're a member of the school's Reading Pals. Tell us why you thought that this type of programming would really work at Rogers, and what sparked it for you to say the school needs it.
Well, I worked in Reading Pals, and I could see that the children did not have a wealth of vocabulary, and they didn't have a wealth of experiences. And I also knew that it was an F school. And I saw it as a perfect opportunity. It was sort of meant to be that I would be a reading pal at Rogers Garden. And so I approached Miss Singleton and Miss Pletcher, and I think that they saw the merits in the program. I had also worked in Philadelphia with the poorest middle school students and with a very large grant. And I felt like if we could do it there, we could definitely do it here. So that was why I approached them.
Tell us a little bit about the program over the 8 weeks of where you started and where you ended up, and what were some of the perks for the kids.
Oh, I think that we started with professional development for teachers because they had to get all on the same page. It's not the usual professional development where you just sit and take notes. They were actively engaged, the teachers, so we wanted them to do that with their students, which they definitely did. And we integrated all the arts. Visually, we had the children replicate doing a baseball card, but they did it on their own statistics. So some of the great things was that we even had the 4th grade students peer mentor the kindergarten students, and they actually sat with them and helped them because we had already drawn our portraits and we had to do our statistics. So some of them didn't know exactly how to spell the words, and for me that was actually priceless, with them sitting. A couple times they came down, and the kids really related to them. That was great.
Your whole curriculum was focused on baseball.
Yes.
So tell us about when you brought in 2 Marauders baseball players to meet the kids.
Well, they knew that they were coming because the book that we chose for One Book, One Community was Casey Back at Bat, and many of the students had worked with that already. Every student got that book. They knew a lot about baseball. They had already gone to the library, and we were going to bring originally the mascot to the library, but we thought that would be very disruptive. So we didn't tell them that the mascot was coming. We just told them that they were going to hear from the Marauders players. And when they came, there was such awe from the children, because here was something that they had learned about, and there was a dialogue between the players and the children that was very real. We didn't prepare them to ask questions, but they had the same foundation. They could really understand, oh, really, I have to do this in order to get there. So it became very real. And one of the highlights was one of the 2nd grade students saying after the players had said that they went to college and they got all A's and they had to work very hard, and he said, and he had a stutter, I want you to know, that he said, I want to be just like you. Mm-hmm. And then the Marauders mascot came out, and the children were just exhilarated, and but they were very, very well behaved. They all took pictures with them, and they were so proud, they just couldn't believe it. So it became real, became something that was very alive for them.
And that was the way that the 8-week learning.
Oh no, well, what they did in the 8 weeks was one of the things, they all saw Goofy Goes to the Baseball game. So they had some background, and many of the children didn't even know what baseball was, even though the Marauders are right in their backyard. They didn't even know what that was. And we made sure that all the children that had baseball with a physical education teacher, they had baseball for that whole period. They played the game. So everything became very real. They learned about Jackie Robinson. They learned about famous baseball players from all the teams. They did research. They rewrote books that they read. The librarian also was a very big part of it. The librarian worked with the central library, and they sent over books. Every child in the school had to read at least 3 books on baseball. And the young children, they read Pete the Cat, they read Amelia Bedelia, you know, the whole class read books. So it was at least 2-3 times a week they were involved in something that had to do with baseball.